We'll finish the topic today, VPN. We started with VPN. We're done with VNet peering. We are done with regional VNet peering, which is also local, regional or local. It's same. We're done with global VNet peering. We are done with VPN connectivity between two VNets. We also performed a practical where VPN connectivity between two subscriptions, and that's what the similar method you would use when you have to do the VPN connectivity between on-premises and Azure. Obviously, at the on-premises, some steps will be different, but you don't have to worry about it. You will have some or the other on-premises engineer, so you won't have to worry about it. But the concept will be same when you're using VPN. Virtual network gateway होगा, local gateway होगा, connection होगा, IP होगा, right? These components are same. Obviously, someone who's dealing at the on-prem, he will not have a virtual network. He will have his own proper network. Gateway subnet नहीं होगा वहां पर कुछ और subnet होगा. Right, but when it is on Azure to Azure, definitely these are the components which you will be using. इसी तरह से exactly होगा जैसे हमने कल किया है. When you do to Azure to AWS, Azure वाला part ऐसे ही होगा. AWS पे दो चार चीजें यहाँ से change हो जाती है. A little bit here and there. Concept वही होता है. They call it something else. We have VNet, they have VPC. We have gateway subnet, they have subnetwork. इस तरह से कोई दो चार चीजें यहाँ वहाँ बदल जाती है. But ultimately components, method वगैरह सब कुछ same है. Right, and you don't even have to worry about it. Even if an interview question comes to you, have you done it with AWS or have you done it with the GCP or on-prem, you can say yes, I have done it. However, I was working as an Azure administrator or an Azure engineer, so the configuration part at the Azure side I was taking care of, and the configuration part at the AWS side or GCP or on-prem, we had another engineer from client side and he was doing that. So I'm pretty much not sure what steps he followed at the on-prem side, but I'm certain about the steps which I followed at the Azure side. So these are the steps I followed and I shared these details with him. अब उसने वो details वहां पे किस component में कहां पर fill की, you don't have to worry about it. And ultimately we were able to fix our connection. This is how you can say. By the way, yesterday's practical, we were not able to see machines pinging each other. By the time we were finishing our class, right? They were not pinging because later on I went back and checked. I logged into Ashfaq's to Razak's account as well. वो shared key में थोड़ा सा issue हो गया था. One digit was missing, so I just had to go to troubleshoot and उसको मुझको फिर से बनाना पड़ा. That's all I had to do, and then it worked. I have shared the screenshots as well. Right, so we have done VPN thoroughly. But whatever we have been doing it, guys, VNet, be it VNet, be it VPN, Azure to Azure, Azure to on-site, Azure to on-prem, Azure to GCP, etc. These all are site-to-site VPN. Okay, a site-to-site VPN. What is site-to-site VPN? Or site-to-site connectivity, I would say. Even if it is VNet pairing, that is site-to-site connectivity. If it is VPN, it is site-to-site VPN. But what do you mean by site to site? So site to site is when you connect one site, for example, on-prem data center, that is your one site, you're connecting that one site to another site, and your another site is your Azure, right? You're connecting two sites. There is no end user involved in this, right? So that is your site to site VPN or site to site connectivity we have learned. However, we have one more method here, one more module, I would say, or one more option, which is point to site. And they do ask this question very frequently. What is the difference between point to site and site to site VPN, right? So we have already discussed site to site connectivity through VPN, through VNet peering. Now we are going to discuss point to site, right? So point to site VPN, it lets you create a secure connection to your virtual network from your individual computer. For example, now this is my computer, guys. I am on my laptop. I am conducting these classes from my laptop. If I check here my IP address, what will be my IP address? Will it be public or private?
Private.
Yes, it is private. What is the IP address?
192.168.1.
Right? It's a private range. Now I have some machines on Azure. I have these machines. Can I take the remote of this machine by any chance? The one which I have selected, UT-Kloud VM2. From my laptop, I want to take remote of this machine. Can I
No,
do that?
there is no public ID.
Okay. Even if there was public IP, let's say I want to take remote using a private IP. Can I do that? Using this IP, I want to take remote to this machine. Is it possible
No,
from my machine? Why not?
Because IP, public IP is not assigned to it, right?
Hmm.
it's a
But
private IP.
mine is also private IP, and this is also private IP, right? But I said
Different
private
network.
to private. Yes.
Both are
Private to
not connected to the same private network.
yes. Private to private can talk to each other. However, there should be some connectivity at least, right? ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके इसमें private कुछ भी होगा, मेरे इसमें भी private कुछ भी होगा, and then we are able to talk like this. If you remember yesterday's example, that is the reason we are not able to talk to each other. What do we need here again? Same things जो हमने कल परसों चेक किया था, sorry, कल the one which we checked yesterday, कल जो चेक किया था हम लोगों ने, सेम थिंग, कनेक्टिविटी एटसेट्रा, वो सब चाहिए. बट द डिफरेंस इज दैट आई डोंट वांट, यहाँ पर मेरे पास कोई लैन नहीं है, कोई पूरा लोकल एरिया नेटवर्क नहीं है. आई एम एन इंडिविजुअल, आई जस्ट वांट my computer, I want this computer to enable, or to should be enabled to access this network, complete network. ये जितना भी network है ना, ये वाला network, this network should be accessible for my computer. So that is called point to site. Do you get the difference, guys? Site to site में आप दो networks को जोड़ रहे हो, ठीक है? Then whatever is there in that particular network, from network A to B, if you're connecting, उस A network में printer, scanner, user, computer, or whatever it is there, they will be able to speak or communicate with the network B. And whatever is there, printer, scanner, uh, any resource for that matter, shared folder, share file, network folder, anything. Those that is the site to site connectivity. That is not my aim as of now. My aim is here to have point to site connectivity. Point to site connectivity कब आती है picture में? When you are working from home, you are an individual user, you want to access some application on client network, ठीक है? Maximum nowadays we all are working from home, तो बहुत common हो गया है. Otherwise earlier we used to get these requests when I used to work in engineering team. तो especially किसी VP, manager, senior manager, he wants to work from home, he wants to connect to this network, वहां पर आप लोगों को establish कर कर देना पड़ता था. But nowadays work from home, it's वेरी कॉमन, एवरीवन इज गेटिंग वर्क फ्रॉम होम. तो इसको जो है सबके लैपटॉप में ये लोग कॉन्फ़िगर करके दे देते हैं. सो हाउ टू कॉन्फ़िगर दैट एट लैपटॉप एंड और पीसी, हाउ टू कॉन्फ़िगर दैट एट द नेटवर्क एंड at Azure, how to connect them, that is what we are going to learn. So is this clear, guys? What is a point to site connectivity?
Yes.
Again, there is no different, there is no another method to connect point to site. We cannot have express route for a point. Point is an end user. मैं अपने घर से, I can definitely not afford, impossible to have express route. VNet pairing not possible. मेरे लैपटॉप पे कोई VNet नहीं है. I'm not using Azure. There is no VNet. I'm not even using Azure. Right? So no VNet pairing, no express route, nothing. So point to site, you can call it connectivity, or you can call it point to site VPN also, because that's the only way which can enable my laptop to connect to one Azure network which is available on the portal, which is available on the Azure. So we can call it point to site network, or point to site connectivity, or point to site VPN. Both are correct. For above options, we can call site to site connectivity, क्योंकि site to site connectivity VNet pairing से भी हो सकती है. The moment I say this is VNet A and this is VNet 2, ये दोनों different sites हो गए, ठीक है? Because VNet A में क्या चल रहा है, VNet B को नहीं पता. These are two different sites. So I can connect those sites using VNet pairing as well, and I can connect those sites using VPN as well. So that is site to site VPN or site to site connectivity. Both terminologies are correct. In this also, site point to site connectivity or point to site VPN, both are correct. Is this clear, guys? Yes, yes,
Yeah.
no,
Yes.
maybe. Right. Uh, so let me quickly show it to you. And again, it will require a virtual network gateway, right? It will require a virtual network gateway. I have already created one. So I'll delete the connection and I'll use the same virtual network gateway. Otherwise, a virtual network gateway takes 20 minutes. So first, let me explain it to you, and then I'll show it to you on the portal. Right. So to have the point to site connectivity, what is it? We already discussed that from an individual computer, you want to have a secure connection. Otherwise, public IP is always there. But I told you, your applications, your all other things, they will not have public IP. You will not be able to communicate to them using the public IP directly, right? So a secure connection has to be there. For example, यहाँ पर बैठे बैठे मुझको अपना payslip install करना है मेरे office network से. It will require a VPN, right? Because I cannot connect my office network over the public directly. Okay, so a point to site connection is established starting it from your client computer, your computer. The solution is useful to telecommunicators who want to connect to Azure VNets from a remote location, such as home or conference. Point to site VPN also useful solution instead of site to site VPN when you have only few clients, so that you don't need to connect the VNets. So what is he saying? Let's say दो साइट की बात कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? There's a site A in Mumbai, there's a site B in Pune. Both of them, but there are only one user or two users at that site जिनका काम है कि पुणे के रिसोर्सेज से ये करना है. Let's say there's a manager sitting in Mumbai, right? He wants to check the work वगैरह, लास्ट में रिपोर्टिंग चेक करना होता है, सब कुछ करना है, बट वो सारी रिपोर्ट्स जहां पर शेयर्ड है, वो शेयर्ड है किसी शेयर पॉइंट में विच इज इन पुणे. पुणे का अलग नेटवर्क है, मुंबई का अलग नेटवर्क है, बट बीइंग अ मैनेजर he wants to check, he should have the access, then only he'll be able to pull up the report, plan the business, अपने seniors को report करना, management को report करना, business कैसे चल रहा है, ये सब कर पाएगा only once he is able to see those reports, right? So in this case, इसके अलावा कोई requirement ही नहीं है. Not all the users want to talk to each other, कोई और resource share नहीं करना है, कुछ नहीं करना है. तो इस केस में भी it's not always home. इस केस में भी what we can do, ठीक है, instead of creating site to site connectivity between Mumbai and Pune, VPN ये करे या express route करे, why to spend so much? Let's do a point to site. उस मैनेजर के लैपटॉप से पुणे के नेटवर्क को कनेक्ट करके दे दो. That's all. And then your problem will be solved. So did you get the live the scenario, guys? When where will you use और कहाँ पर use हो सकता है, किस तरह का request आ सकता है? Is it clear to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now examples we already discussed. Zscaler है, Cisco AnyConnect is there, right? Then there are many, n number of that. But no, today we are not using any of them. We are going to set up a VPN connectivity point to site end to end using every resources from Azure, including the VPN client. Right? So let's go ahead and check that how it is done. So between a VPN gateway and VPN client, forget it. This I have already explained, right? What do we need? The components. So we will require to point to site to components which will require. First thing, there are multiple methods. Multiple methods. One is using a certificate method. I will be teaching you certificate method because you don't see many videos on that. Another method is your Azure Active Directory method. That is easy. You get many videos on that, so I'm not covering that here. Let me show it to you. Let's say if I go to virtual network gateway, which option will I use, guys? If I want to do a VPN connection between site to site, which option will I use here?
Connection.
Yes. I hope you guys are practicing and you guys remember. Otherwise, यहाँ पर आके ये भी याद नहीं होता है आप लोगों को, या इंटरव्यू में क्वेश्चन आता है, then you won't be able to answer if you don't practice, right? So this is what you use if you want to do site to site, but that is not what we are doing now. What are we doing now? We are doing point to site. So where is the point to site?
Just below the
Just below
connection,
that.
you
Below
have
the
Here
point
it
to
is. Yes. Okay, so I have already done one. So I will change it again. I'll delete it. But look at this. The moment you select the tunnel type, it will give you options, right? This is very rare one, but if you know this, others you can explain very easily. If you go with Azure Active Directory, it's very simple. Whatever users are there in Azure Active Directory, with few clicks and settings, you will be able to give all of them access to your VPN. So I'm not showing you that. Maybe you can watch a video, and even if you don't do that, it's okay. In your interview, you don't have to trust me. A person who has a genuine experience of 3 to 4 years, उसने भी ये तीनों एक साथ नहीं किए होंगे कभी. So if you are master with one, it's completely fine. And Azure certificate, it's very interesting. बहुत rarely किसी को पता होता है. So we'll do that, and you can practice on that, and you can say this in your interview. It will make you stand apart from others, right? So we are going to use Azure certificate. But what are the options? We have radius authentication, we have Azure Active Directory, and we have certificate. ये किसी भी तरह से कर सकते हो आप, तीनों का मेथड अलग अलग हो जाता है, but ultimately the point is same, point to site connectivity, right? So we are going ahead using certificate method. So what do we need for that? We'll have to create a certificate. We'll require a VNet gateway. Obviously we require a VNet, right? When I say VNet gateway, it is implied कि हमको VNet gateway चाहिए, हमको VNet चाहिए, उसमें एक subnet चाहिए. What should be the name of the subnet, guys?
Gateway subnet.
Yes, if I required a VNet gateway, there has to be a subnet called gateway subnet. So I'm now not repeating things. When the moment I say I need a VNet gateway, it is implied. You should understand this very easily. Even when an interview says, so वो आपके माइंड में अपने आप आ जाना चाहिए, बैक ऑफ द माइंड कि ओके VNet गेटवे चाहिए, मतलब एक ऐसा VNet चाहिए जिसमें दो एटलीस्ट सबनेट बन पाए. एक तो बेसिक डिफॉल्ट सबनेट where I'll be creating my computers etc. and one gateway subnet. Why do we require gateway subnet? To host virtual network gateway, right? Then we required a certificate, root certificate, and a client certificate, right? We'll have to export that certificate. All 3, 4, 5 steps I will show it to you. Even if you don't understand this properly, it's okay. Sometimes you get a team जो certificate का काम आपके लिए कर देती है, but you should understand the process at least. ये 7-8 point आप लोगों को बोलने आना चाहिए. Other no one is going to share his or her computer and screen with you. Okay, okay, let create a certificate for me. No one is going to do that, right? But you should know. Then we'll have to configure the gateway point to site, and we'll have to configure the client. Okay, this is what we have to do. I'll be showing it to you. Is there any doubt, any question till here in the concept? कब काम में आएगा, कैसे आएगा? How part we are going to do it? How in the portal we are going to do it? The theory and concept. Is it clear, guys? Just go through this. Take 30 seconds. Go through this properly. I hope this is readable, right? Big enough to read. Go through
Yeah.
this properly and ask me questions if you have.
One question here. If this point-to-site VPN can be created using Azure itself, then there are companies using third-party applications like Cisco, Fortinet. So why they are using that?
I'll answer your question by asking
Hello.
another question. Yes, Prabhat, I got your question.
Okay.
Do we have firewall in Windows?
Yes.
Why do we use McAfee, Norton, and so many firewall? It's extra firewalls at virtual level or at data center level. Why do you think we do that?
Extra layer of security.
Not even extra.
They're often
Trust me, we don't even. When you go to data center environment, जब production environment में जाते हो ना, extra नहीं, Windows firewall को सब बंद ही करके रख देते हैं. This is the reason ये जो हम ping के लिए हर बार हमको firewall off करना पड़ता है ना. This problem you will never face in live scenario. Why? उनका विंडोज का जब आप बनाते हो ना, इनबिल्ट कर रखा है कि फायरवॉल ही बंद कर दो. व्हाई? बिकॉज दे डोंट ट्रस्ट विंडोज फायरवॉल. विंडोज ने दे तो रखा है एक छोटा सा फीचर, बट दे डोंट ट्रस्ट इट. सिमिलरली अज्योर ने एक वीपीएन के लिए दे रखा है, एक सर्विस दे रखी है. ओके, अ क्लाइंट, दे हैव गिवन अ क्लाइंट, बट उसमें इतना छोटे इतने कम फीचर्स है that people will think, or the companies will think, let us go to somewhere who specifically deals with with VPN. So if I use a specific company who only deals with one product VPN, I'm sure उसके product में बहुत सारी चीजें ज्यादा मिलती है मुझको. Why? Because they are only focusing on VPN. उनके VPN में ज्यादा security मिलेगी, ज्यादा options मिलेंगे, multiple layers मिलेगी of security. मे बी थोड़ा बहुत कॉस्टली होगा, बट इट विल बी अ गुड प्रोडक्ट. गॉट इट? दैट्स द ओनली रीजन. अदरवाइज इट्स सिमिलर. अज्योर का भी आप यूज कर सकते हो, यहाँ पर भी यूज कर सकते हो. सेम जैसे आप विंडोज फायरवॉल को भी यूज कर सकते हो. छोटी कंपनी होगी, दे डोंट वांट टू स्पेंड मोर, दे विल यूज इट. आप अज्योर का भी देख लोगे. बट बिग कंपनी, दे हैव इनफ मनी, दे विल गो विद द बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट. बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट हमेशा वहीं पर आएगा जो कंपनी एक एक चीज को एकदम डेडिकेशन से बना रही है. ऑब्वियसली उसका प्रोडक्ट हमेशा अच्छा होगा. Got it, guys? Is it clear?
yes.
For example, now if you buy a flat or something, राइट। बिल्डर आपको बोलता है कि यार ये फ्लैट के साथ जो है मैं इंटीरियर भी करता हूँ, और मे बी इस फ्लैट के साथ मैं छोटा मोटा और जो है दूसरा काम वो भी कर देता हूँ, बट यू फील दैट बिल्डर का कोर काम है बिल्डिंग का स्ट्रक्चर बनाना, फ्लैट्स बनाना। व्हेन इट कम्स टू इंटीरियर, छोटा मोटा ग्लास वर्क, ये ही इज नॉट दैट गुड। सो व्हाट विल यू डू? नहीं यार, आप मुझको फ्लैट दे दो, आप अपना इंटीरियर अपने पास रखो, आई गेट माई ओन इंटीरियर। यू विल गो, यू विल सर्च इन द मार्केट कि इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग में कौन बेस्ट है, गेट हिम, राइट। सो आपने बिल्डिंग के लिए जो बेस्ट है उससे ले लिया, इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग में जो बेस्ट है उससे ले लिया, अल्टीमेटली यू विल हैव अ गुड प्रोडक्ट, अ गुड प्रॉपर्टी। सिमिलरली Azure क्लाइंट वीपीएन जो आपका वैसे ही काम करता है, नो डिफरेंस, नथिंग, सब कुछ वही है, बट फीचर्स कम हो गए, सिक्योरिटी लेयर्स थोड़ी सी कम होती है कंपेयर टू सिस्को एनी कनेक्ट वगैरह। सिस्को एनी कनेक्ट, सिस्को इट्स देयर इन द सिक्योरिटी मार्केट फ्रॉम डेकेड्स, from a huge time, long time, वहां से वही करते आ रहे हैं वो, they are experts in that, right? So they will definitely have more features, more compatibility. अब Azure वाला जो है, I'm not sure though, I have not tried, maybe I should try that. I'm not sure Mac पे चलेगा या नहीं चलेगा, right? But Cisco AnyConnect, they will create it for Mac also, they will create it for Ubuntu also, multiple variants बना देंगे उसको, वो Windows के पुराने वेरिएंट से लेके न्यूएस्ट वेरिएंट को भी सपोर्ट कर लेंगे। ये सब जो है Azure नहीं करेगा, why? Because Azure's core product is not their VPN client. This is just talking about VPN client guys, ठीक है। कनेक्टिविटी तो सबको सेम ही है, कनेक्टिविटी अगर आप सिस्को का भी क्लाइंट यूज करो, कनेक्टिविटी सेम है, इंटरनेट पे आप टनल बना रहे हो, दैट्स द सेम थिंग। आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट द क्लाइंट। So is this clear to everyone? Why are we using Azure VPN, and why sometimes you see Cisco and Zscaler?
So one more question. When we have the openings, in that case, they specifically ask that have you worked on firewall like Fortinet or any other? So
FortiGate, yeah,
for
FortiGate.
VPN, yeah, Fortigate.
Hmm.
So Fortigate or Cisco or any other. So similarly for this VPN client also, they have Fortinet and all, right?
See, now I'm
Forti
not sure
client, yeah.
what kind of interviews you have given for what position, but now whatever interviews will be uh, applying, or wherever you will be attempting, you're not going to say that I was troubleshooting here. Now you are into implementation part, right? You will focus on Azure, that I was implementing Azure solutions. ठीक है, आप अगर एक सर्विस डेस्क के लिए जाते हो या एक सिस्टम एडमिन के लिए जाते हो ना, देन these questions might come to you. Here you will go as an Azure administrator. Now you are calling yourself as an Azure expert. You can be very certain about it, very firm and very confident. No, sorry, I did not work on Cisco. We used to use Azure native services. I am confident about Azure. Why? Azure is cheaper. Azure gives this feature. Same अभी जो मैं दूसरे के बारे में बोल रहा था, आपको Azure के बारे में चिपकाना है. No one is going to cross verify, उसको लेकर कोई बैठता नहीं है in your interview. ठीक है ना? ये pricing and features, ये सब कब होगा? This your architect team will do when you're actually dealing with client. In your interview, whatever you say, it's fine. That I was working with Azure, we used to recommend Azure, I have deployed Azure. Why we used to do Azure? It was cheap for client. Don't use cheap word, let's say good or economic, ऐसा कुछ word use कर लेना, ठीक है? Or it's reasonable, it has this feature, it has more compatibility. Same चीज आप Azure के बारे में बता दो. This is the reason we used to promote Azure native features to client, and client used to agree. We have convinced, we have conveyed them, and we have conveyed the message that it is better, and we have convinced them by showing the POC, etc. And hence that is the reason I have been dealing with Azure part only, but I understand the concept as whole. Though I have not worked on Cisco AnyConnect, but I have deployed Azure VPN. So I'm sure if I get chance, I can do it on Cisco as well. This is how you have to modify that. When it comes to firewall, no, I have not worked on FortiGate. I have not worked on SolarWinds. I have not worked on जितने भी firewall पूछते हैं, I have not worked on that. But yes, I have worked on Windows firewall. I have worked on, अगर आपने किसी में किया है, for example, I have previously worked with SolarWinds, एक monitoring tool है. If they ask, I can say yes, हाँ किया है. अगर आपने किया है किसी firewall पे तो ठीक है. Otherwise, Azure firewall I will be covering here. What you will have to do, आपको बस negate करना है बाकी के firewall को, कि नहीं, I've never worked on that. I have worked on Azure firewall. Whatever feature you're talking about, it is there in Azure firewall also, and I know how to configure it on Azure firewall. So I'm sure if I have to work on some other firewall, I'll be comfortable with it. And that is not a lie. To be very honest, now once you now I'm sure you guys are familiar with virtual machines, as at least, right? At least with that topic. ठीक है? ये वाला टॉपिक जो है वर्चुअल मशीन का, इज दिस क्लियर टू एवरीवन? Okay, how to
Yes.
create a virtual machine, right? Now if I just log into GCP in front of you or AWS, तो I'm sure you guys will be able to create a virtual machine over there without any training. थोड़ा एक 5 मिनट का आप लोगों को टाइम लगेगा देखने के लिए कि यहाँ पर Azure में it is called virtual machine. What is it called in AWS? Okay, it is called EC2. What is it called
E2C.
in GCP? It is called a server engine. इतना टाइम लग जाएगा बस आपको थोड़ी टर्म्स यहाँ करने, but you guys will be able to, because you know already what is the concept of public IP. If you don't align a public IP in AWS machine, Azure machine और GCP machine, replications are same कि आप बाहर से उसको access नहीं कर पाओगे. If you assign the public IP, replications are same कि आप उसको access कर पाओगे, but you are paying extra. So once you learn something, it won't be that difficult to learn other things. So it won't be a lie when you say कि I am expert with this. I have never worked on this particular product, but given a chance, I'll definitely do that. तो अगर हम Azure firewall को अच्छे से पढ़ते हैं, तो FortiGate का firewall कुछ अलग नहीं है उससे ज्यादा, right? If you go ahead and check the differences between these two, FortiGate firewall versus let's say Azure firewall, here it is, or Palo Alto, it's very famous by the way nowadays. They ask a lot of questions about Palo Alto, more than FortiGate, they ask this one. So you even if you go by one table, ऐसे कुछ चले जाओ देखोगे ना आप, एक image वगैरह भी search करोगे, you will find 5 differences and then you will say okay fine, I got it. इतना इतना इसमें difference है. Look at this is what I'm getting here, this is what I'm not getting here. ये यहाँ पर ये हो रहा है, price का इतना difference है, और options दो चार यहाँ पर वहां पर ऐसे वैसे हो गए. That's it. Whole concept is not being changed. If you understand the concept of firewall, then you will be able to work on anything. If you understand the concept of VPN, then you will be able to work on any client, any VPN. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Why am I spending too much time on this one? इतना क्यों time मैंने spend किया एक answer पे? Though it wasn't even technical, कोई technical specification भी नहीं देखे हमने. Because these are the answers which will help you in your interview. So don't just listen to them and leave. You create your own answers. इसके base पे आप अपने answer बनाओ. I am saying FortiGate or Azure Firewall or SolarWind as a this one monitoring tool. You guys must be having something in your network. Go ahead and search जो service desk में काम कर रहा है, जो कहीं पर कर रहा है. Even if you are not from technical background, you must be having a network. आपके ऑफिस में नेटवर्क तो है, राइट? आपके क्लाइंट मशीन पे होगा कि कौन सा आपका ये है, VPN कौन सा है आपका, ये कौन सा है, firewall कौन सा है, right? Everything will be there. Go ahead, search about it, read a little bit about it, so you will be able to create your own story, right? And story is the only way you can sell yourself in your interview. The more story you say with technical jargons, technical terms, the more chances you get to get selected. Okay, guys, so let's create this one. Let's get started with this. First, I have already created a setup. Let me show it to you because only 6 minutes are left, right? तो मैं पूरा बता देता हूँ. Then we'll take a break of 5 minutes. उसमें I will delete everything and then we'll start new session जहाँ पे मैं फिर से configure करके बताता हूँ. I'm not deleting virtual network gateway. Virtual network gateway सबको आता है already, right?
Yeah.
Till virtual network gateway, all of you know. And virtual network gateway is something which will take a lot of time. कितना वो approximately 20 मिनट लग जाएगा. तो we are not taking उतना time नहीं लगा रहे हम लोग. So now I was not able to connect to this machine, guys, right? Now let me connect to UT-Kloud VNet. This is a VPN actually. This is the point-to-site VPN which I have configured already. And look at this, guys. I asked you to practice, but by the way, this is how I get it. You guys are able to see my screen, right? You guys are able to see this pop-up which says Azure VPN.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this is my current IP 192.168.1.3. I click on connect. Now I have got a pop-up. Do you want to continue? I clicked on yes. Now it is, look at this. It is being connected and it's done. You are not able to see my icon, Wi-Fi icon on the, that's on screen 1. But now I got the approval there, or got the notification there that you're connected VPN, and can you see it here? यहाँ पर भी दिख रहा है, it is connected. And now if I check my IP, what is my IP address, guys?
192.168.1.
No, that's my old IP address.
Sorry,
Yes.
172.30.
So I have got the 172 range, which means if you look at this screen, कहाँ से आया 172? Look at this one, right? And now this 172, because I have put it here, ये वाला 172 का subnet का range, it will be able to speak to all the subnets which are there in VNet. कौन सा वाला VNet? ये subnet. Hear my question properly. This subnet will be able to speak to all the subnets under a VNet. Which VNet I'm referring to? क्या लगता है मैं कौन सा VNet की बात कर रहा हूँ?
UT-Kloud.
Yes, the VNet which is holding this virtual network. ये virtual network gateway जिस भी VNet पे है, वो VNet के सारे subnets है ये कर पाएगा. So this is the VNet I'm referring to. So let's go ahead and check virtual network. So this is the VNet I'm referring to. यहाँ पर मेरा virtual network gateway है. So what was my statement? That particular subnet 172.1 वाला जो subnet है, that one will be able to speak to all the subnets which are there in this VNet. So how many subnets are there in this VNet which can have machines?
There are 2 subnets.
No. My question is, how many subnets are there in this VNet which can have machines?
There is only one subnet.
Only one.
With 248
Sorry, who
IP.
answered? Razak bhai or
Default
Ashfaq
one.
bhai? Yes, gateway subnet cannot have a
Yes.
machine. Right? Gateway subnet पे हम machine नहीं रख सकते. In fact, कोई resource नहीं रख सकते. So there is only one. अब इसमें कितने machines है? If I want to check, I can go here. I can check कितने utilize हुए इसमें से. I can check here. ठीक है. और it's very simple. यहाँ से भी मैं चेक कर सकता हूँ connected device from this to this VNet. उसमें मुझको सारे ही दिख जाएंगे एक ही बार में. If I don't want to go, because what am I saying कि सारे subnets पे जितने भी resources है connected है. So why should I go to different subnet? Now look at this. 2, 5 and 6. ये तीन. What is this, guys, by the way? This
That is
resource.
NIC, network.
What is
Network
NIC?
interface card.
Network interface
NIC.
card.
NIC.
So what does it mean?
Network
ये NIC है होगा तो सिर्फ NIC होता है क्या? NIC कहाँ पर assign होगा? What is this representing here?
VM को.
Resource.
Virtual machine को assigned होता है वो.
Yeah. Sometimes storage पे भी होता है और दूसरे इस पे भी होता है, but yes, as of now virtual machines. So how many virtual machines do I see? 3. So now as per my statement, I should be able to take remote to any of these machines, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Provided
connectivity
guys,
चलेगा.
provided कि विंडोज मशीन है. अदरवाइज पता चला यहाँ से आपने ये कर लिया, सिर्फ देखा और इसको आप RDP ट्राई कर रहे हो, ट्रबल शूट कर रहे हो, लेटर ऑन यू रियलाइज कि ये तो लिनक्स मशीन है. That is not going to work then. Okay, so let me check this. But before this, let me try pinging. I'm connected to the network, right? I am claiming कि ये सब के बाद होना चाहिए. I'll try and ping. What is the IP address? 10.2.0.4. Will it ping? What do you think? Quickly, guys. We have only 2 minutes. Let me
Yeah.
show it to you.
It
No,
will.
It will not ping ना. वो on नहीं है ना वो.
क्या on नहीं है?
That machine is not in running state or.
It is in running state. Okay,
something
that is also good observation, but it is in running state. Look at this. All 3 machines are in running
Firewall
state.
off.
Yes, perfect. Right? So ping तो नहीं हो रहा है, but let me check RDP. Can you see?
Yes.
RDP is working. And yes, as you said, firewall, if I go there and turn off the firewall, ये ping भी जो है इसका शुरू हो जाएगा. Now, using my personal laptop, guys, I have taken the remote to my to my Azure machine. Look at this 10.2.0.4. ये मैंने अपने लैपटॉप से प्राइवेट आईपी के साथ लिया. I did not even have a public IP on that machine. So now you understand कि किस तरह से without public IP से डील करते हैं हम लोग. Right?
Yes.
We do not require when you go to your data center actual environment, you don't even require the public IP. So guys, only 30 seconds are left. I'm just trying to turn off the firewall and see if this pings. नहीं भी ping होता तो we are done with our practical. ठीक है. We'll take a break of 5 minutes. I'll delete everything and we'll rejoin in 5 minutes. So it is
Razak's machine,
11:45
which he
will
has created.
11:45 will rejoin. Look, it has started pinging. I'll take your question in next session. Sorry, didn't get it, but we have only 5 seconds left. It has started pinging.